Here's one for you. So I'm just literally pulling out the car park here of Homebase, and herself sent me into town to get a bulb, but not any old bulb, a very specific bulb. A bulb for one of her Himalayan salt rock lamps that she has either side of our bed. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of them. I think they look cool. I'm a big fan of lighting. Lighting is an interesting topic. As an owner of a vertical farm, I need to know a little bit about lighting, but anyway, I don't want to get too sidetracked and go down too deep of a lighting rabbit hole. But these Himalayan salt rock lamp things, they release positive ions, apparently, into the room, and I'm sure your granny told you that a bedroom isn't a bedroom unless it's full of positive ions, as the old saying goes. But anyway, she asked me to go get a bulb for this Himalayan salt rock lamp thing. But interestingly enough, you can't get any old bulb. Now, obviously you can't get any old bulb. It has to be the right size of bulb for the fitting. But getting a bulb that fits is no good. Because what a Himalayan salt rock lamp is essentially a big rock that they drill a hole up its ass, and inside the hole they shove a bulb. Well, they shove a bulb and a little light fitting and a wire and a cable on the end of it, and when you light it, the rock lights up and it releases positive ions into the room. It gives off a nice glow as well. I'm a fan of the light. The lights they work well. You can stare at it. I'm a big believer in, and this is a rule I have in my house, and it's a rule I would have for any restaurant or any pub or any public building or business, especially in your own home. You shouldn't have a light in your own home that you can't look directly at. Now, spotlights in your ceiling are probably an exception, but they're task lighting. They shouldn't be on if you're just chilling in a room. You should be using lamps and candles and different things. Even candles, the candle itself, the flame off, it should be behind something. The point being, you should be able to stare at any light that's in your house when you're winding down in the evening, especially. Because if you have a light in your house, in a room that you spend time in, let's say your sitting room, when you're chilling out in the evening and there's a light on, and if you stare at it, A, it's either blinding, or B, when you look away from it, having looked directly at it, you can still see it in your vision. That's a big no-no. Because if it's blinding to look at, it's blinding you when you're not looking at it, you just don't notice. And that, to me, will be a little psychological scratch. And the more of those you can rid from your life, the better. It's something that I've harped on about before, rooting out all these little psychological scratches from your lives. It's akin to death by 1,000 cuts, but it's, poor mental health due to psychological scratches. Anyway, the type of bulb that you have to get for this Himalayan rock salt lamp, it's an interesting one. If you've ever had an oven in your house, you've more than likely had a little light in that oven. And that light can't be any old light, because if you stick any old light bulb into that, fix me camera, if you fit any old bulb into that fitting, when your oven goes up to 300 plus degrees Celsius, it's going to burn the shit out of it. And you don't want to burn the shit out of the light in your oven. So you buy a specific oven bulb, fit for purpose, that can take those kind of temperatures. And that's what I've just bought there. But while I was in there, I'd pick it up and show it to you, but I'm driving so I can't. I bought a little air conditioning unit because myself and past guest and friend of the show, Pat O'Reilly, are in the process of setting up a winery, #merch. We're going to, and are kind of in the process of making red wine. We're thinking of going with Rua as a brand name, Rua being the Irish word for red. And it's something to offer the people who are a follower of me and my content and the whole off the lead thing. And instead of people just basically gifting me money on Patreon or whatever other way they've gotten a few pound over to me in the past, now they can actually buy a bit of merch, buy a bit of off the lead wine or Rua wine or whatever way we go about branding it. But the beauty of that little air conditioner is we've constructed a room. It's a highly, lad here giving me the thumbs up in the car beside me, good man. Poor fella, I'd say he's Down syndrome or something, but anyway. We've constructed a room, we've insulated the shit out of it, because a key part of the wine making process is temperature control. Now, I know a thing or two about controlling temperatures and climates in rooms, because my business is essentially a controlled growing environment business. We happen to grow plants, but in a new room that we've recently built, we're going to be brewing wine. So what I just bought there for, I think it was €75, is an air conditioning unit that will both heat and cool the room. So as far as the side of the box made out, I can actually set the temperature of my room, and if it gets too warm, it'll fucking cool it, and if it gets too cold, it'll actually heat it. And of course, it being 2023, it's internet enabled, and I control it from an app, and I can get notifications straight to my phone, provided I have internet access and Wi-Fi or whatever else in the room, which I may or may not have in time. But it just made me fucking bask in the wonder of living in 2023. Like, that level of control. You know, the greatest wine barons of all time only dreamt of having such control. And these days, you can just buy it in your local shop. I've kind of joked before, complaining that when is it going to get to the point whereby we buy a fucking second-hand fMRI machine on done deal? And like, that time is coming. And if we're not already living in it, because no matter really what you want to do, regardless what it is, whether it's brew wine, brew beer, distill spirits, grow weed, fucking anything that you can think of, anything that you could possibly want or need to use to do anything, is available at a click of a button, which is just fucking absolutely fantastic. You need a bulb that can take 300 degrees Celsius temperatures? They have a fucking selection of them in fucking Homebase. And on that note, I'll chat to you soon.